I'm under the impression that most of you guys have seen me here from some of my Instagram content, right? You could do a head nod if you're on the video. Yeah, yeah, okay. See, that's why the head nods help because I could, we could go faster. Okay, great. So most people here from Instagram, right? Now, the reason you came to my Instagram is because I'm doing something that you found interesting that led you to take this time with me to be on the call. And my promise to you guys is I'm going to deliver. Now, if you have been on a call where people are halfway selling and then you could just tell that they want to sell you a product at the end of this is not going to be that. What this is, I sell stuff. I'm in business just like any of you guys, right? But I'm going to be teaching you principles that people charge for because I'm very confident in what I do. I've been doing this for over a decade and I've seen people get results. So if you're ready for us to jump into the call, into the presentation, guys that are on the camera, just give me a thumbs up or head nod. And then people in the chat, put a 1. And we're going to get right to it. Okay. Now, for those of you who may be interested, I'm launching my coaching program, the next cohort of 10 people on July 29th at 6 p.m. Over 20 people have applied for it so far. But for you guys that are here, I want you to determine if it's worth it for you to even get an application. And that is my goal for you today. All right. So let us jump right in. Because I just want to really just hone into a few things. So for last week, for those of you who weren't here, what I taught was the 5 mistakes photographers make when they're trying to get more bookings. I'm not going to go in depth into those mistakes today, but this is just to immediately just help you guys to hone in on what we're doing here. So 1, thinking that you're selling to somebody instead of selling for somebody. Meaning, if you're helping somebody do an event, in the case of you, Brandon, you're not selling them anything. You're selling them to help them to document their event so that more people could attend the next time, right? Mistake number 2, not making enough offers. Most photographers do not offer enough people their service every month. When I ask people, the last time they actually told somebody that they do X type of photography was last month, which means that they don't have any bookings up for this month. Number 3, trying to find more people to sell to instead of making yourself findable, right? You can do both, right? You can find people to buy, but when people are looking for a specific service, you want to make yourself findable. That means you're publishing content. That means you're addressing the problems or challenges that they're having. That means that you're giving information in a way that helps your customer more than you help yourself. Problem number 4 is that you sell what you want to sell. Most photographers are guilty of, I want to create art, like my clients, like they're just so restrictive and they don't understand my vision. Well, guess what? If you do that, we'll take you to the back to a mental health facility because you're not going to make any money doing that. All right. Now, the 5th mistake is if you're trying to get people to buy instead of creating an environment where they want to exercise their desire to buy, they won't buy. Meaning that when you get on the call, all you talk to your clients about are more edits, more photos, more hours with me in the studio, things that they just don't really care about that much, more than the fact that, can you get the job done in the way that I need to, right? Does that make sense so far, everybody? Right? So those are the 4 mistakes. Now, for those of you who are here that don't really know much about me, I specialize in branding photography. So I've been fortunate and privileged to work with some amazing brands like H&M, City Harvest, the Barclays Center, New York University, aka NYU, startups like the Multiverse, and the Brooklyn Borough President's Office. So what I do is I take all the insights and the knowledge and the learnings that I get from working with these clients, and then I put them into a tangible format so that you can make more money. Ultimately, that is really why I do any of this on a weekly basis. Now, for those of you who are wondering, just to give you guys an idea of how things have been working monetarily in the business. And I know some of you are there and wondering, all right, well, how exactly is this guy gonna teach me how to make $10,000 a month? And like just to like prove that to you guys, I'll just give you guys an idea. Like this is the last 3 months in Stripe. This was updated today, and I'm not going to um go down because I don't want anybody's sensitive information to be revealed. But that's just what the numbers look like for the last 3 months, so that we could just get that out the way and I could show you that what we're doing here. Okay. Moving right along. So in the early days as a photographer, this is me when I was in Jamaica learning just how Photoshop worked, right? And I first got my start in photography, learning how to do random Photoshop effects. This was me when I was in high school doing like PixArt photos, and I learned how to add a photo from like a cutout from Superman, and like I did the duplication, like just random stuff in Photoshop. Nothing that's really too serious, right? Then around 2015, after taking pictures of sunflowers, random people in the park, and taking random pictures of people at events that I would go to, I stepped into fashion photography. And I did this. I met a really cool photographer. She did street photography. She had a model, and I was just assistant. And all I did was anytime she stopped taking pictures, I would just have my flash and I would just snap 2, 3 pictures in between and then just go back to assisting her for the rest of the shoot. During these years, I did pictures of like basketball games. I did pictures in like small parties, large parties. I was a part of a party promotion team. This is Corey, one of my really good clients who, when I just started photography, he would book me every year for his Labor Day party. But at the time, I really had no clear direction as to where I really wanted to go. And the reason for that was because I felt like in order for me to make money as a photographer, I needed to do a lot of different things. I got bit by the videography bug in 2016. I started shooting music videos because my cousin told me, hey, Jordy, if you do music videos for people in the neighborhood, you could charge $250 a pop. And naturally, I did the math. I'm like, okay, if I do 25 videos and if I do 10 of them, I'll make $2,500, right? Right? Did the music video thing for a little bit, didn't really work out because I then realized that if I wanted to be a great videographer, I'm going to need to really invest. And just like any career, you have to invest. So it's just going to be a determinant of what you pick. But I quickly realized that in between editing music videos and trying to edit the latest pictures I got from a photo shoot, my brain was being split in 2 different directions. So I did videography up until 2018. And then when I filmed a conference for a lady from Chicago, I made a decision that I wasn't going to do this anymore because it just wasn't really making any sense. And I was an average videographer and a decent photographer. And I decided that at that point, I wanted to be the best photographer that I could be. Now, that led us up to 2020, right before the pandemic. That was when I got my first magazine publication, my first Billboard publication, but I still wasn't clear about where it was that I wanted to go. Now, for those of you who this was true, like,
have a very good time.
did the pandemic affect your business in any way? Like, right? Like the pandemic affected some of us in here. Like Petros is like he's good. Like the pandemic didn't affect him. He was
He's trying to
good.
get his mini bike working.
I want to get it working
Oh,
better
All
because
right,
right now it's just
all right, we're gonna mute that person just now. All right, right. So who was affected in here by the pandemic, right? Let me know. Right? Like look, I had 3 clients during the pandemic, guys. I ran up my credit cards, my savings were burnt through, and I almost lost my place to live. So I, that's my reality. I'm not saying you have to subscribe to it, but there were a lot of people that subscribed to the narrative of the pandemic. And guess what? During that time, I met one of my key mentors on my journey. And it didn't occur to me then, but he was shooting right throughout the pandemic. That meant that there were people that were willing to shoot, but because I believed that the opportunity wasn't there, I couldn't see it. I was going to modeling agencies. He was test shooting 14 to 15 models a day, and the agencies paid him. He gets paid to test shoot models, right? And I was going through this and not realizing that, oh, wait, people are in fact booking photo shoots. I just don't know where to find them. I even had a friend that approached me and said, Jordi, let's open a photography studio. And I was like, hey, look, I have $1,000 left. And I don't think I want to put that $1,000 into a place where I may have to be sleeping on the floor right now. Safe to say, his business took off. He's doing well right now. And I missed the early moment to probably have a photography studio. But to be honest, the neighborhood that it was in wasn't one where I wanted to be in anyways. But during that time, even though business was bad, I made a big pivot. That was when I started to do lighting workshops. And that was when I started going deeper into realizing, oh, most photographers don't really know how to shoot in the studio. They don't really know how to market themselves. They don't really know what captions to write under their pictures. And we're smoking opium, hoping and praying that clients are going to come our way. And I want us to stop that today. Now, for just for this, like, just so you guys could just see this, right? Like, this is a few shots of me in the studio giving instruction, teaching lighting principles. And I teach lighting principles so that photographers could shoot throughout the winter months and not have to rely on natural light in unfavorable conditions, right? Now, this brings us to this principle here, which is why most businesses fail. And the reason most businesses fail is for a very simple reason. They fail because most people are not generating enough leads. 99% of the leads, and this is just something that I need everybody to be aware of, right? 99% of the leads that you generate will also not be qualified. So there's only a small fraction of people that are ready to buy at this very moment. Number 3, no one knows who you are. And if no one knows who you are, nobody could buy. Number 4, all clients are from referrals, meaning that if you don't have a stable business, that's because you're only doing word of mouth. And if you're only doing word of mouth, that means you're dependent on people's good graces to get you customers. That means that you're having a by chance business, hoping that somebody, Jeremy, by fail, meaning that, so like statistically, most businesses fail within the first year opening, and then 50% of businesses fail before year 2, meaning that they stop making money and cease to exist. So most photographers have a hobby-based photography business because they're generating leads sometimes, like they have a couple clients here and there, but there's always a strong desire to take it full time because we love what we do. And the thing about it is we would do photography even if we weren't getting paid. But the best part that you could do is when your passion makes you profit. And then the bonus problem is if you, sometimes it's just you. Sometimes you block your blessings and it's not your fault. Nobody teaches us as photographers how to make money. There's tons of YouTube videos, and you can search right now on the skills that you need, on the things that you got to do, the lighting, the Photoshop, but there's not a lot of videos. Like Manny Ortiz is not teaching it. Frono's Photo is not teaching it. Tony and Northrop Photography, they're teaching it somewhat, but there's a lot of people that just aren't teaching it. Matt Granger, not teaching it. I can call out a lot of people that are not teaching it. And it's no knock to them. They're great. because they teach you how to do photography. But the part is, Manny Ortiz, if you guys follow him on YouTube, when he opened that studio, I don't know about you, but I wondered how he opened the studio. Like, what was the process like that? When he touches it, not that he doesn't talk about it, he touches it, but he didn't go all the way in depth as to if you wanted to open your own studio, you could learn from it, right? Now, so is everybody following so far? Everybody following so far? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Yep. Okay. Great. Now, here is what we're going to be looking at, right? In any business, there's 4 areas that you need to look at: marketing, fulfillment, which is like actually taking the pictures, and your finance, right? Now, if your marketing it ain't working, your business ain't working. It's just a fact, right? Now, here's what we need to do. There's 3 components, and I can't go in depth as I want, but I'll share it with you guys so you can look it up, right? When you guys found me on Instagram, that is top of the funnel awareness. You're aware of this handsome man from Jamaica that talks about the business of photography, right? That is top of the funnel awareness. Second, middle of the funnel awareness. Nurturing. That means somebody, they found out about you on Instagram, YouTube, anywhere else, and then they decided to sign up for your email list, or they decided to register for a program, or join a webinar like you are right now, or book a consultation, right? That's where they're now in the middle of, like, they're trying to figure out. This is when people come on a call with you and they say, yeah, Brandon, I'm just looking for more information. It's like, no, you're looking to see somebody that could do this photo shoot for you or help you with your event. You're not looking, like, you don't book calls all day trying to get more information. You're trying to do something here, right? Then bottom of the funnel, conversions. This is where, like, your email marketing is going to come into play. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but email marketing statistics, that email marketing gets you a 16-to-1 return for every email sent. Because guess what? People that are on your email list compared to Instagram, they're like, hey, look, I like what this fellow or this gal has to say, and I'm going to go all the way down and figure it out. That's your marketing machine. 3 components. There's more details to it, but it's 3 stages: awareness, nurturing, conversion. Somebody knows who you are. They're like, I really like this stuff. And then 3rd level is like, ooh, I'm about to buy. Those are the 3 components of your marketing machine, right? We're going to keep it simple today. Now, here is what most people do. Most people make a post on Instagram, and then they try to send people to their service, or they do a random email, or they had somebody off of Fiverr help them with their SEO, or they try to do it themselves, not knowing what SEO is. And then this is the worst case. You spend $5 a day on Instagram ads, not knowing how to work them, trying to send people to your page to book your service. And then you're like, ads don't work. Or worse, social media doesn't work. And then you're angry at Mark Zuckerberg for making a platform that's shadow banning you. Nonsense. Nonsense, right? The reason it doesn't work is because of this problem that I shared with you before. 99% of people aren't ready to buy right away. They're not. So if you send people to your page, to your main service so that they could book, every now and again, you're going to get somebody that's like, oh, like, this looks great, I'm about to buy. But for the most part, most people need to be nurtured. Most people, like, you don't meet somebody on the first date and say, hey, will you marry me? That's essentially what you do when you ask somebody to buy a service. They don't know who you are, where you're from, what you do, or if you can help them. So they want to go through a process of getting to know you. Now, here is where we are. Now, right before I show you guys the 10K per month formula, I'm gonna do a breakdown of what this is. So I did a survey, and I found, after speaking to about 60 people, that most of them do not know what their target audience is. They classify, and I'm talking about photographers, they classify themselves as portrait photographers. They dibble and they dabble and they wibble and they wabble and they do a little bit of this and that, and they do a wedding and they do a little portrait and they do a little event and they just do a lot of different things. Now, here's what happens. You're going to be reactive to new opportunities. So when somebody says, hey, can I do a wedding? You like, of course. Somebody says, hey, do you do this event? Why not? Somebody asks you to take a picture of their baby. I'm your guy. You know, you react instead of having a system and a process around the group of people that you serve. Now you waste time in idea land and you overplan. You don't know what you want for your business. If you have people on your team or people that work with you, they're going to make versions of the plan that you didn't make because you don't know who you want to go after. Guess what? Now your services are going to be confused. You're going to be focused. Chances are, if you don't have a clear target audience, your photography service probably is in the range of $150 to $400. I can guess that. It is more than likely there. Probably, and if you want to make it sexy, it's $299 or $399. And then you don't know what to write on Instagram. So if you don't know who you're speaking to, it's going to be hard for you to write a nice caption on Instagram. And then we're all photographers. We create a lot of content here. And I've been to a lot of your inspiration. Sorry, not a lot of your inspiration. I've been on a lot of your feeds. And a lot of you, the last time you posted was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 6 days ago, but there's not a consistent flow. Now, for where we are right now, guys, is this making sense? Is this making sense? Like, put a yes in the chat if this is making sense. I'm not trying to go too fast. I want to make sure it makes sense because I want us to be aware, right? Like awareness. When you're aware, you can make a decision, not a choice, right? You can make a decision as to what exactly and where exactly you want to go. Now, what we want to do is we want to get clear, like crystal clear clarity. I'm making this word up, but crystal clear clarity on where you want to go. So here is the 10K per month formula. You guys may want to write this down, right? You generate 100 leads per month. You convert 10% of them, and you sell one service for $1,000. For those of you like me, may need to pull out the calculator. 10% of 100 is 10, right? This is not a math class. I'm not crucifying you if you couldn't work that out, right? 10% of 100 is 10. So the 100-10-10 formula, that is the name I made up this morning as I was reviewing the lesson for you guys. 100-10-10. And 10, in this case, the last 10 means 10K. So you generate 100 leads, you convert 10% or 10 of them, and then you sell one service for $1,000, and that gets you 10K a month. Now, somebody is asking, where do we get the leads from? How do we get them to buy? And how do we repeat this process? I'm going to show you exactly just that. So the framework that I teach, it follows a problem and solution framework. These two big ideas, problems and solutions. Problem. Let's define a problem for our conversation as if somebody, for example, wants to do pictures for their engagement. Guys, you tell me, I'll ask you, Brandon, why might a bride want pictures for an engagement shoot? Let's talk about this real quick.
Why would she want photos for an engagement shoot?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's a special time in their lives. They want to capture this moment. It's a major milestone for people.
Yep. Major milestone, right? And
Yeah.
and I add to that, she may want the pictures for save the date.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that next. Yeah, to save the date, share for family and friends.
Exactly. Thank you. Right? Promise. There's no trick questions today. All right, Petros. If I were for example, if I were a new startup and I wanted to take pictures of everybody in the company, why might I want to do that?
So why you might not want to do that?
Yeah, why would I want to take pictures for my whole team if I'm a startup? First answer that comes to mind.
I mean, you're assuming that you don't have the budget for it.
Oh, okay. Or maybe they want to show the pictures to their investors.
Oh, they want to show the picture. Yeah. Oh, no, I think I understood you wrong. Sorry. I thought you said they might not. I thought you said, oh yeah, definitely share it to the public and to investors. Yes, makes sense.
Give me one more reason.
To create awareness.
To create awareness. Yep. To create awareness. Exactly. Deja, you give me one reason why a startup may want to take pictures.
A startup? What do you mean, like startup business?
Yeah, like a startup business. Like a new company, they're gonna get investors to come in. Like, why may they want to get pictures taken for the company?
To like you said, brand awareness, really, to let everybody know about the brand and let them know specifically about the people to feel comfortable. Looking at people headshots and stuff like that, or looking at the building and make people feel more comfortable to go with the company or use the services from the company.
Exactly. So to build awareness, and you said something that was really great, to build trust, to build trust so that people could see that it's not a faceless company. For those of you who are in the chat and can't talk right now, just put your reasons in the chat and we'll keep the conversation going. So Deja here, Daniel says, as an introduction to the public, right? Exactly. Promise, guys, there's no trick questions. This is not it's not Jeopardy, right? It's not Jeopardy, right? There's no wrong answers, right? Right. So to look more professional, right? Because when people are going to come invest money into the company, they want people to see that they know what they're doing. And a good quality headshot, whether or not they know it, it breeds trust. Now, to go back to what I was saying earlier, let me pull the screen back up again. Here is what it is. So the framework is called what Jordi calls it, it's a problem solution framework. And there's a concept by Alex Hormozi, which is really remarkable. I recommend you guys look it up. And it's called the value equation, right? Look up the value equation. But the value equation, I don't think I have it on this sheet here. I had it in another training. But the value equation is pretty much, how can you help somebody get to their dream outcome, which is the thing that they want. If I were a bride, a great engagement photo shoot, in the least amount of time as possible, with the least amount of effort coming from them. So, for example, Uber is just your traditional car company with a dashboard. What Uber did was they reduced the perception that Mr. Peter isn't going to come by giving us a dashboard where you could wait until you see the cab come right by the stoplight, and then you roll right out of bed, and then you time it perfectly and get right downstairs just on time. Amazon. A lot of people used to say, oh yeah, we can't ship in 2 days, Amazon is like, hey, 2-day shipping for everybody. Just pay me one flat fee per year and you get everything delivered in 2 days. And depending on what part of the world you live in, you may get it in 1 day or less. A lot of people before, like in the early days, I'm sure you guys remember, everything was like $24.99 shipping and handling, $10.99 shipping and handling, and returning packages used to be, like you'd have to go to the post office with a long line. Nobody want to take your packages. Amazon is like, hey, scan this barcode and just drop it off of Whole Foods. Convenience. Question for you guys. How are you creating convenience for your clients? Now, I'm going to go into this part for you guys too. And this is the framework. This is the system that we teach. So this is what the ultimate marketing machine looks like. And this is what I coach photographers on how to build from the ground up. Now, the top part of it, I'm not going to go into all of this. I'm just going to assume the best of you guys, that you guys have your systems and stuff in place. So we're not going to do that. But at the top, it's your systems, your processes, how you do stuff, mindset, be, do, have. You know, before you could become a millionaire or have $1 million, you have to become a millionaire by waking up in the morning, reading, networking with people, training. Most photographers don't invest in business or marketing skills. Unfortunately, they just get $3,000 cameras and gear, and they wonder why people don't book them. It's because you don't know how to market yourself. And it's not to point fingers at anybody by any means, but it's just the reality of what the position that we're in. Standards, right? Do you have a standard of how you treat yourself in the morning? Like, do you have a routine? Do you drink alcohol on the weekends and can't wake up on Monday morning, right? Like, what habits do you have? Habits are things that you just don't think about. Like, when you set your thermostat in the house for like 75 degrees, your thermostat is going to make sure that at all times, whether the door opens or you're cooking some steak or the windows are open or something like that, the thermostat is going to regulate the temperature to 75 degrees. Your habits are going to keep you in the same place that you are. Do you think that people that are failing are trying to fail? Like, I'll talk to people sometimes and they'll say, yeah, you know, Jordi, I'm like trying to get this done. I'm trying. Whenever I hear the word trying, I hear the absence of a lot of these things. And the reason is nobody just taught us. And then Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement, right? Now, you want to write this down, guys. There are 4 ways to get clients. 4 ways. Right? There are 4 ways to get clients. You can run ads. You could produce content. And we have a lot of social media platforms. You could do outreach. You could call people, email them, prospect them, go knock on doors, etc. Or you could form partnerships. Those are the 4 ways that you could get clients. I promise this is not going to be any rocket science. It's easy to make money once you have this in place. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, the rest of this stuff, I'm just going to give you a very simple idea of it, but I'm going to do it in real time for you, right? Now, here's where we are. If you're familiar with what a lead magnet is, put a yes or no in the comments, please. Are you familiar with what a lead magnet is? Yes or no? All right. No. All right. The majority is not familiar with what a lead magnet is. I'm going to change that for you guys today. When people want to book your service, I'll do an example, right? Let's say this is your client and they're asking, I wonder who can help me get professional headshots. Over here, this is you as a photographer. You're screaming, book me. They can't hear you. Here's how you make your clients hear you. These clouds represent the problems or the challenges or the obstacles that clients have in their mind. A lot of the times they're not going to tell you about these problems. It comes in the form of, what's your price? You throw the price at them and you never hear from them again. The reason they don't contact you Whoever's microphone is on, please mute it. Yeah, whoever, thank you. All right, there we go. How do I get back to this? Kind of threw me off just now. I think my screen is still being shared. All right, let me just stop the share and then reshare it. Gotta love technology. All right, we're back. We're back, right? So when your client asks you what's the price, underneath that, there are like 10 questions that they have in their mind. And if you do not answer all of these questions, they will not buy your service, or you won't be able to charge a premium. For example, when somebody wants headshots, they're wondering, all right, like I see that they do some headshots, but I don't really know if they could do the headshots for me. Or your booking process is time consuming. You don't have a booking platform, so that somebody could book a simple consultation, or you don't have an invoicing system. You're taking Zells and Cash Apps and everything like that. Or a lot of my clients have complained about this. Long turnaround time for pictures. In fact, they label most of us as like, man, this guy's good. He got a good personality, but boy, he just takes so long to send the pictures. And they may not tell you that, but that's a common reason that they may not want to book. Pricing and packages are unclear. If you tell me that you have a $299 package for 1 hour and 3 edits, okay, is it going to be in a studio? Is it outdoors? When am I going to get the proofs? You see how the package is incomplete? Now, a lot of people are self-conscious. Most people are not models. I had a real estate client one time. He just got his license fresh off the real estate school, and he wanted to get some headshots done. And he said, Jordi, I really think I need some headshots because I just got my license. And I said, hey, I'd love to get you some headshots, but have you considered doing some lifestyle photos in addition to doing that as well too? And that would showcase actually more of your personality. He's like, no. I walked him through the whole session and I said, hey, look, I can do the headshot for you and I'll get it done in 1 hour, and I'm going to charge you a lot of money for it. Depending on who you are, a lot of money may be different to some people, but I can do this in 20 minutes and get you out of there. But if you do want additional pictures that showcase you more, and then you don't have to take another pictures for like another 6 to 8 months, would you be open to? And, I showed him the plan. I showed him like different styles of images that he could take. And at the end of it, I was sitting down in Macy's picking up a cologne that my lady bought for me. And I got paid $400 right there for just walking him through that process in 20 minutes, and the shoot was like an hour and a half. But and the only thing that made him book me was he was like, Jordi, man, I don't really know how to pose. And that was like the last thing that he said to me. And I said, oh yeah, that's no problem, man. I used to coach models on how to pose. And guess what? Before the session, we'll pick out all the poses you like, and then I'll tell you how to do them during the session. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. So his concern wasn't the quality of the pictures, because he got a referral. And referrals are great because you don't have to sell a referral. Like, they're just like, hey, my friend told me it was a good experience. I'm ready to go. But for people that don't know you, they're going to have a lot more concerns that you have to address. Next is find a photographer who completes the brand, so on and so forth. And the point is for this is, if you solve only one of these problems, like let's say you have a good portfolio, if that's the only problem that you solve, your client is going to find somebody who is able to communicate the rest of this. If that makes sense to you, say yes. If that makes sense to you, say yes. You have to solve all the problems, every single problem for your customer. That is how you get them to buy. Now, for the good part. So we covered the 10-10-10, the 100-10-10 formula. We covered why people buy. Now I'm going to show you how I would do this if I were a headshot business. So to cover the aspect of a lead magnet is free value. And let's define value as this. Value is the difference that you make in somebody's life by rendering the service that you give to them. So what I believe 100% is when I sell somebody my photography services, I'm helping them. I'm helping them to get great images. I'm educating them on what it means to work with a professional photographer, and I'm showing them how that works. So your lead magnet essentially is that free value packaged up in a guide, checklist, ebook, or template form. And this is something that you give to customers in exchange for their contact information. So I'm going to show you guys now how to go from please book me, I'm a photographer, to come give me your information. And people are going to be willing to give you the information after we apply this. Now, here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a scenario. So I'm going to be a headshot photographer who specializes in working with real estate professionals. That's who I'm going to be today. Here's why I made these decisions. One, I'm going to be doing a series of these for different niches. So next week, I'm going to be doing one for a maternity photographer. The following week, I'm going to be doing one for branding. The next one, I'm going to be doing one for events as well, too. But today, I'm just going to show you, but this applies to any photography industry. Here is why I chose this. There's two things that I want you guys to get from this. So this is going to be real estate professionals. And I'm going to, there's a 4-step framework that we use to determine that I train you guys on so that you can understand how to pick your market. First concept, and you guys definitely want to write this one down, is can they afford it? Right? Like genius, right? Like sometimes we pick niches and we work with people that can't afford what we do. So can they afford it? That's the first part. Next, I think my computer froze just now. Okay, let me just refresh the page, right? Second principle is how bad do they need it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do they need the thing that you're selling? Number 3 is, are they easy to find? Right? So sometimes we pick people to work with, but it's difficult to find them. For example, if you did specialized elopement weddings for couples between the ages of 18 to 24 who make $500,000 a year, I don't know if you're really going to find a group like that, right? So you want to make sure the group can afford it, right? So do they need it? Can they afford it? Are they easy to find? And are there more of them? And in general, that's like, is that group of people growing? So this is where you got to do some research, guys. And if you're jumping from niche to niche to niche, you'll never really get good at this next part that I'm going to show you. So for real estate professionals, not all of them are going to be able to afford it. But guess what? Out of the 60,000 plus people that get their real estate license every single year, there's a lot of them that can't afford it. They need the service if they're actually going to be serious and want to be known as a thought leader. And they're easy to find because you can do a Google search and find them. And are there more of them? Now, here is how the 100-10-10 strategy applies. So remember, we want 100 leads. We want 10% of them to buy, and we're going to make a product that goes for $1,000. Now, I'm going to go back to the strategies that I shared above. And these strategies, if you're in the beginning stages, guys, do not do every single thing here. Pick one that works for you. The ones that I am really, really implementing right now, I'm really in a stage of like my content and my outreach. Like a lot of you guys have gotten DMs from me, and I have run ads in the past. And I highly recommend it if you can. But see, the thing about ads is if you don't know how to create good content, then your ads are going to be shit as well too. And the reason is the more content that you create, it gives you insights into what people are reacting to, how people are reacting to it. And then ads are just gasoline fuel that you pour on it, right? So here's what we're going to do. So now I'm a headshot studio. So we've qualified. So we've ran the real estate professionals through this formula. Do they need it? Can they afford it? All right. So do they need it? Yes. Can they afford it? Say, what's the answer, guys? Can they afford it? Yep. Are they easy to find? Yep. Right. Like you could nod. Right. And are there more of them? Yep. Promise. There's no trick questions in here today. Right. Now, here's the next part. What problems do they have as it relates to booking photography? That's the question that we want to ask. Now, problems don't mean that if they don't solve it, they're going to die. It just means what obstacles may come up when they want to book a photo shoot. So here's what we do. We're going to go to 3 places: Google, Quora.com, and I know many of you also like ChatGPT as well too. For the purposes of time, I'm just going to go right into ChatGPT. And I'm going to show you exactly, see, I did it before to test it for you guys, and I'm going to replicate it, right? I am a headshot photographer. You may want to steal this prompt. I am a headshot photographer who wants to book more real estate clients. List 20, and I recommend 20 to 40 problems, but just to start, list 20 to 40 problems. Well, I don't want a whole list of 40 for today, right? So list 20 problems that my ideal client has as it relates to booking headshot photography. And then I'm going to tell ChatGPT, don't explain, because sometimes it goes crazy. Here's the thing. Look at, oh my God, look at this. Their uncertainty. So they're uncertain about the importance of professional headshots. It's difficult to find a photographer who understands the industry. They're concerned about the cost. Now, look, all of these may not apply. Some of these you could kind of just like shove to the side, but here's ones that I like. So there's a lack of knowledge in how to use headshots. They fear that the headshots won't represent their brand. Okay, they lack the understanding of the technical aspects. Oh, shoot, they need guidance. It's the reason that I cited earlier from that client example. Lack of clarity on the value in investing in good headshots. Now, these are the problems. Remember, the framework is problem solution. So I'm going to call on Jeremy. Jeremy, for one of these problems, let's say that I'm a real estate professional that is concerned, I'm inexperienced with preparing for a photo shoot. How would you help me to prepare for a photo shoot, Jeremy?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you loud and clear.
So I would think maybe 2 ways. One is like maybe use Canva and create like a infographic with some easy steps for the client to use, or schedule a call and then you can walk them through the process.
Great. Those are both great answers, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Let me pick another one. The need for guidance on posing and expression during the shoot. Gary, if I were a real estate professional, how would you help me with that problem? All right, Andre, how would you help me with that problem? If I didn't know how to pose, how would you help me with that problem?
So initially from the beginning, I would have already been on Pinterest looking up ideas for poses and stuff. And one thing I would do is ask them specifically if they can't pose, can I show you different poses? from a catalog from my Pinterest and see if these are things that you would like specifically.
Nice.
So like ideas from like past clients, like I would show them like different things that they have done specifically to see if they will be able to do those type of things also.
Exactly. Thank you so much, man. That is amazing, right? Now, for each of these problems, I heard infographics, looking up on Pinterest, and then sharing past customer experience, and then also getting on a call with them to walk them through the process. All of those answers are correct. And the reason that this is important is because, like, if you notice, we haven't even spoke about pictures yet. We haven't even spoke about edits yet. If you turn the focus on helping clients get what they want, you will get more than what you want. So we covered our niche. So we picked the niche. We determined that real estate professionals can afford it. They need it. They're easy to find, and there are more of them. We identified some of the problems that they have. Now we're going to take these problems and we're going to create what we call a marketing message. And I don't have enough time to teach you guys exactly how to do this because it's a public training, but your marketing message is how you communicate how you solve somebody's problem. When brands come to Jordi and they ask me, hey, Jordi, what do you do? My name is Jordi, and I help brands launch new products, new services, and this may come in the form of doing rebranding campaigns, store launch campaigns, or product launch campaigns. In fact, I recently had a company who I helped launch a store in the middle of Soho after they weren't present there for the last 2 years. Is that something that you're interested in? I didn't talk about edits. I didn't talk about pictures. It's almost like if you do this, you could become more than a photographer. And then you get paid more because of that. So your marketing message, so you just want to write that down. Your marketing message is the solution. So for example, when I specialized in maternity shoots, the biggest, and ask your clients why they booked, and you'll get a whole host of different answers. Like I asked many of you guys, what do you want to learn from today? Everybody gave me a different answer. So your marketing message answers the question. If I were a mom and I'm looking for a photographer, I'm probably going to say as a photographer, I help moms create memories that help them to freeze. I probably wouldn't use freeze moments in time. That's too cliche. Every photographer says they freeze moments in time. But one of the most common reasons moms book maternity shoots is because they have regret from not booking the first maternity shoot. So I would probably put in my message, I help moms minimize the amount of regret they face from not having done their first photo shoot for having their first baby, so that their kids could know exactly what they look like. Something like that. More targeted, more specific, and you attack the pain point of regret. All right? Now, how do we find these leads? So now that we know what problems they have, and we know our message, now we're going to take the message to the market. And one of my favorite places to go is events. And I'm going to give you guys a strategy that I've used myself that has worked. So, and this is why it's so important to know your niche. I'm going to type in real estate events. Look at that. Oh my God. I'm a real estate photographer, but if you're a portrait photographer, can't tell you where to go. So you do a little bit of everything. If you told me you're a maternity photographer, I'm going to tell you to find all the prenatal yoga studios in your neighborhood. See what I'm saying? If you want to work with more graduates, I'm going to tell you, hey, you need to find those school fairs or find education fairs. Make partnerships with the principals. Don't go after the kids. Go after the parents. Find the principals. See what I'm saying? Like, we're not portrait photographers, guys. We're leaving that identity in the past. But look at this. I'm a real estate photographer. Buy your first home. All right, so that's probably catered towards people that want to buy homes. So I'm not going to look there. Oh, look at that. Free after work real estate and entrepreneur networking event. Okay. NYC Real Estate Expo. All right. Now here's a discriminating factor. And by discriminating, you got to be selective. The type of people that you may get from an event that is free versus one that is paid is going to be a big difference. Y'all know those clients that come in and you tell them, hey, it's $500, and they're like, all I got is $150. If you take them in for $150, you're in for $350 worth of headaches that they did not pay for. Y'all know that. That is very, very, very true, right? Be selective. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click into this event, and I made a little spreadsheet here to just demonstrate how I would do this process. I went ahead and I found an event. This is JCon, right? Like Jewish conference. And here's what they have. So they're at Hilton, July 9th, literally in 6 days, 4 to 10 p.m. I read about the event and look at that. Other inquiries, email that email or call that number with the extension 4. Now, when you have identified who the market is, what the problem is that you solve, you're going to put this together in your message, and then you're going to put together an email, and you're going to send to these people, hey, my name is Brandon or Daniel or Jeremy or Deja or Heather, and I specialize in, insert the service that you do, in headshot photography for target market real estate professionals. Not, I take pictures for everybody because I like taking pictures. I'm a portrait photographer. You do that if you don't want to make money. But if you want to make money, this formula works. My name is Jordi. I'm a headshot photographer who specializes in working with real estate professionals to help them communicate their value to, and you can even get deeper if you want. So if you're an investor, you may want to get a headshot to communicate your value to investors. If you're a developer, you may want to communicate trust to builders, right? You're going to put that in the email, and you're going to put that, or if you get on the phone with them, you could say, hey, I have a sponsorship package that I do. And this is what you want to say. You want to say to them that you want to come onto the event as a sponsor. Then when you're there, I recommend bringing 1 or 2 people to help you. While you're taking the pictures, you want to have a sign-up sheet on your phone or a tablet or a computer. And on the computer, what you're going to do is you're going to have them put in their name, number, and email to get the headshot from you. And then you're going to edit the pictures. When I did it, I edited every single picture. Well, my editing team does, but we edited every single picture, and then we sent them back in a timely manner. On average, we would do about like 30 to 50 pictures per event. So that's 30 to 50 leads that may do business with you, and you only need 10 of them. We send them the pictures in 1 to 2 weeks, and then we do follow-up. And if you repeat that formula, my friends, you will be well on your way to $10,000 a month. If you do that, if you go from being just a portrait photographer to specializing in the thing that you are most interested in, you will be well on your way to be having the photography business of your dreams. And you don't have to play the games of the broke artist, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in being a broke artist. Now, I know I went 6 minutes over time, but if you guys could still rock out with me for 20 more minutes, and if this was good, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know. Let me know if we could do 20 more minutes, guys. 20 more minutes. I want to answer some questions because I know I put a lot here, but yeah, man, like it's good stuff, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Of course, that's what I'm here for. Like good practical stuff that you could implement because I want you guys to make more money so I could help you guys get to the next level. That is really what I want. Right now, guys, that was the presentation. To summarize, here are the main principles. So the 10-10-10 formula. You're going to pick a market, right? You have to pick a market. Pick a group of people that you are willing to serve. And this group of people, run them through the test of, do they need the service? Can they afford it? Are they easy to find? And are there more people like that market is growing? Then, after you do that, the 100-10-10 formula, 100 leads per month, convert 10 of them to paying clients, and then afterwards, you sell one service for $1,000. There's some people in that group that may want a more premium service, but that's for later. And now here's the thing, and I just want to show this and I'll then open it up for questions. Using the same formula, 100-10-10. This is how you make 10K a month. But with one move, I can show you how you can make $20,000 a month by making one or two moves. If you want to make $20,000 a month, with this system, all you have to now do is generate 200 leads a month. And then you make $20,000. Look at that. It's not rocket science. And then if you're still converting 10%, that means 20 became clients. And if you're still selling one service for $1,000, now you've made $20,000 per month. Now, if you want to double your revenue, let's say you took some sales classes and you got better at sales, and now instead of 10%, you're converting 20% of leads. This is the math that I like. 20% of that is 40 clients a month. And you're still, and you haven't even increased your price yet. Same service, and all you did was increase the number of leads you generated, and then you converted more of those same leads. Now you have 4x your revenue by making two small tweaks in your business. You didn't buy a new camera. You didn't get the Sony G Master 70-200 2.8. You didn't get the Canon EOS R5. You didn't buy a new Blackmagic. You didn't get some new Arri lights for your studio. All you did was do the things that matter in your business. So, guys, I know some of you may have to go soon. So if you are interested in applying for the coaching program, put the word coach in the chat and I'll see for that. But now I will take some questions, guys. I'll take some questions. Ask me any question. And what I found about the questions is the more selfish you make the question, the more they help everybody else as well, too. So make your question about you. All right. And it will also help somebody else as well. Okay. So ask your questions. Ask your questions. Fire away.
Hey, Jordi, can you hear me?
Yep.
It's Petros here.
Yep, Petros, I can hear you, man.
Excuse me. I was a bit dry. I don't know what happened. I was going to say, actually, this is just literally yesterday I had a phone call. This was through recommendation. Friend that he was a friend and became a client. Worked with him like for about 5 years. I'm into corporate. Excuse me. And yeah, he recommended me to this potential client. But this client was saying like, oh yeah, I don't have budget, but I want to work with you in a partnership way. And I've never been in that kind of situation when it comes to partnership. I was like, my response to it was, what I do is I do charge for my service. But let me just, I told her, let me just get back to you on that, and let me have a chat with my business partner. And I just left it to that, basically. I just found my niche, whatever you want to call it, recently, like a couple of years ago, about 2-3 years. So I'm focusing more into corporate world nowadays, because I've covered from fashion, wedding, a headshot. I was one of those, when a photographer capturing whatever I find that pays you, but I start focusing on niching down, which is into the corporate world, events, photography, and plus I do filming as well. So my question is, what do you say when somebody say you want to be partnership? Does that mean like working, like giving them your service for free, or I know it sounds stupid question, but or you have to put some sort of money, to the service you're providing them?
Well, if you presented your price and this person who you don't know proposes a partnership to you,
I don't know them,
chances are that they just probably want the service for free. Now maybe you do your due diligence and you figure out that it makes sense to partner with them, but entering into a partnership with somebody is a whole different beast. And I think, like you'd want to have a sense of what's their track record. Are they a good business person? Are they ethical? You might want to check out other people and everything like that. But if they're proposing a partnership to you straight out the gate, personally, I would run. Because we don't know each other yet. I only know you by proxy of a friend. And because of that, I would just be cautious about that, and chances are, one of the ways I've presented this to people first is, hey, look, I'd love to be a partner with you, but I think that I'd love for you to get a better sense of how I work. How about this? Let me give you the service first. You pay for it, walk you through the whole process. And if after you like it, let's reopen that conversation about being a partner. That's how I've dealt with sometimes as well, too, by just redirecting it back to the service and repositioning it so that they could get the experience of working with you first. And then that gives you time to also see them. Because here's the thing. When people are bad buyers of services, they also have a difficult time selling. And the reason for that is, so for example, I've invested like thousands of dollars into coaches. I've had coaches that have coached me on posing, how to pose models, how to sell, how to take pictures, how to do marketing. Like that's why you see a lot of the stuff that you guys see on Instagram, because I've been doing it for near about the same amount of years, but I've had people just show me how to do it because I was tired of how to do it myself. And this is a little bit away from your question, but the point is that if that person doesn't want to buy right away, I mean, I don't know them or anything like that, but chances are it would be a difficult time.
The other thing she said was also, obviously I would have your website on our website and your logo to send out. I was like, I'm in the point of my life, like I've got babies to feed in a way. I'm a father. you know what I mean? I've done a lot of exposure the past good decades. Right now, I'm not in that kind of position where, I'm always like I do my diligence and check in the profile. I go on LinkedIn, I search them up and everything. I don't just go like, okay, let's do this. I need to check, So I was like, you can have my website on your, my stuff on your website, but it needs to make sense.
And then this, like, how much traffic do they get? How much people are coming to the website on a daily basis? How much people are booking a service? Like, there's too much variables to just do it. So I hope that answers your question, Petros.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely. Let me take the next question. Who is up next? That's a really good question, Petros. All right, come on down, man. Come on down. Let me add you up here. Name, please.
I'm Yao, but my company name is Continue Images.
Okay, Yao, nice to meet you, man. What's your question?
Nice to meet you too, and everybody. My question here is like, I have a brand I work with, right? But initially, somebody referred me to the brand, and like that time, I was like dried up. I didn't have like no leads, like it was really done. That was when I wanted to quit photography, but it fell on my lap in the way, and it's like when we had to talk about contract, like I was really just willing to just start shooting again, and then it's like it was something I wanted to do. So me and the brand discussed pricing and everything, whatever they needed and everything. And it worked out and we started working. But then like as time goes on, I know the brand is growing and I'm just starting to see that.
What's the question?
Like, my question is, I'll come to the question, but I'm just letting you know.
No. Ask the question first.
Okay.
And the context afterwards will make the question make sense. Okay.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you like reopen like a negotiation standpoint as to pricing and how the brand wants to keep going up in so many things as to how the package looked back in the day and how things have changed right now. So
Okay.
I'm thinking of like how do you reopen negotiations because you've worked for a long period of time now. And
Okay.
the brand is growing, but then again, you have to also grow as like one providing the service for them.
Great. So now I have a better idea since you asked the question. Like whenever
Right.
you ask the question straight up, it helps in general. Okay.
Thanks. Okay.
And that will even help you when you're renegotiating with them. Now, why do you want to have a renegotiation with them? Is it that the amount that you started charging them is it right now to cover everything that you need? Is that the case?
I think their needs are going up, but because we had a contract, how sometimes when you shoot, let's say 36 images and let's say automatically now it's like, okay, 40, like 4 more. What I'm saying? Yeah, certain things sometimes photographers will take in, and I think we don't have to really be taking in.
How long is the contract with them?
It was we had it for a year, but it has it has been renewed all the time. Like, cause apparently, like I'm the only photographer they work with most of the time.
Okay. Now, when I've done renegotiations with clients, how I approach it is I have a look at the contract, I have a look at what we agreed on that I would deliver, and then have a look at what their needs are versus how much their needs have grown. And then since you've been like how long have you been working with them now?
3 years now.
So you could pick up the phone and call the owner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could pick up the phone and call the owner, and it's as simple as, hey, I'm Gary. Hey, I want to talk to you about something. I have noticed that your needs have been growing, and I want to have a conversation to see how I can be of better service to you.
Right.
Are you free tomorrow, 3:00 to have a chat? And then all the notes that you've gathered, you just ask questions. You don't come in saying like, hey, like I need more money, right? Like you don't do that.
Yeah.
But a renegotiation is kind of like a consultation where you're talking to them again from scratch. So you have to remove the fact that y'all have been working together for 3 years. Because here's one thing that's true. They enjoy working with you, so they've renewed the contract. So it's a conversation. You need to know how much you need. You need to know what your expenses are. And then ask the question of, hey, we're doing like, let's say like 2,000 a month, right? We're doing 2,000 a month. And hey, with everything that you're asking for, I think that I'll be able to bring better service to you if we're at $3,000 a month. Is this something that's feasible for you at this time? And then you just let them talk. And if they respect you, it's a very simple conversation. The thing that may make it difficult is if you fear losing the contract. And if you fear losing the contract, that is going to stop you from having that conversation in the first place. Is the case that you fear losing the contract?
Not really.
Okay. Then why haven't you had the conversation yet?
I've thought about it. It's not like not long, it hasn't been long, like just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it happened to clash with when I was going to join this,
Okay.
call, and I felt like, I would just ask just to see
Yeah.
how the approach goes. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of things you said was not really out of what I was also thinking, but I just want to, you want like-minded people as photographers, how to
Yeah.
go about it in an experience standpoint to know how to,
Yeah, like like the purpose of coaching is a coach is not gonna tell you anything that doesn't feel it. It's gonna sound simple, but the thing is, most of us don't do the things, right? Like most of us don't do, like, for example, why does LeBron James have a coach and he's one of the greatest NBA players to ever grace the court? Because the coach is going to be able to pay attention to stuff that he may not be paying attention to. So I'm not here to give you anything that's like, oh, like, yo, like Jordy's the GOAT. It's everything in business is simple. Human beings just complicated, but it's just a conversation
right.
of what you need versus what they need. And then are they willing to up the price based on the extra value that you'll be providing? Because if the price is going to go up, the perceived value that they have must go up as well too. Otherwise, they're going to say no. Hope that helps.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. All right. Let me take two more questions, guys. Those are really good questions. Petros and Yao, really good questions.
I have a question.
All right. Who is that? Who is that?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Yep. Come on up, Jeremy. Let me bring you up here. All right.
All right. So the question is actually pretty simple. It's just how to get clients. So in my case, I will be studying like in a couple of months. I just graduated high school. And like I've been doing this for like around 6 months now, and the skill level of my photos are like decent. So they look let's say like a real professional actually. And so what I want is to do like senior portraits, but that isn't a big thing here in the Netherlands. So there isn't like much of a need for it. Do you think I need to bring that over here, or do you think I would need to choose a other niche of portraits to take?
I don't know the market in the Netherlands too well, but I would look at it based on the 4 criteria. So the only way I could tell you how to get more clients is if you know who you want to work with. So I would have a look at all the opportunity in the Netherlands for photography, and I would check if it's something that they need, if it's something that they could afford, and if it's something that they're willing, like they really got to need it. Like sometimes, for example, for birthdays, like people want it a lot, but they don't need it. Like if a recession happens again, people aren't going to be buying birthday photos, but people are going to be running ads if it's a corporation. So since you're new, I would say have a look at different niches. Try different things to get a feeler for what you really like. And there's a couple common types of photography: street, commercial, branding, fashion. Like I know the fashion scene out like it's good out there in the Netherlands, So just try those different things. But then based on and you don't need to try it by going in and doing random pictures, like if you decide that you want to try headshots for like a month, then find businesses or people that need headshots and offer it to them for free,
So like that's also like a pretty big thing for me, because I know I'm able to like network, so like cold calls, cold emails, and all that stuff. But like, should I ask a price beforehand, or just do it for free and later on maybe say, hey, you've got the pictures, I'm pretty good, you're earning money from them. Yeah.
Well, if you're giving somebody something for free, you should give it for free. You know, like you can't serve two masters at the same time. You know, so if you're doing something for free, I would say do it so good as if you were paid to do it, which then if it, and this is why the niche part of this is so good, is because once you get to figure out who it is that you want to work with, if you give them something for free and they actually value it, they'll actually book you for that same service because they're like, wow, this guy is really good. And I've had tons of people in the very specific places that I wanted to work in that I've done free services for that they've paid me afterwards. But if it's like a random birthday shoot that you give out to somebody, for example, chances are they're going to find somebody else next year because on the scale of do I need this? It's like, like I don't really need it that much. So that is the best I could really tell you right now, since you're so fresh. But I would recommend just figuring out like who it is that you want to work with. And if you're in like 6 months in, you just have to taste different things. Just try different things, you know, just try. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right, definitely. All right, guys. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for rocking out with me for this time.